I'm Sally McLean. I'm the creator and director of Shakespeare Republic, or the web's the stage, The Lockdown Chronicles. The idea for this series came out of the global pandemic itself in 2020. In March of this year, everything shut down here in Melbourne, all theatre shut down, all film and TV shut down, and I was suddenly left looking at a very empty calendar. And I thought about it and thought, well, maybe now is the time to do a standalone season of Shakespeare Republic, taking his characters and his text and setting it firmly in 2020, putting the characters themselves in lockdown. And on top of that, maybe there was a way to be able to involve international actors, as so many of my brethren around the world were in the same position, with work suddenly cancelling and calendars suddenly clear. So maybe there was a chance that actually we could take the work global and work with a global international cast, which is what we ended up doing. So the series itself was actually filmed using internet technology. We rehearsed through video conferencing software, through Zoom. We also then ended up taking that a step further and worked out how I could direct the actors in real time through Zoom while they filmed themselves on their smartphones or their cameras at home. It was a very long process. Pre-production began in March. We began filming in early May, and we have basically still continued to rehearse and film and edit from May right through until this month, until November. We still actually have one episode to go in the lineup, and it ended up being 24 episodes with actors based all over the world, but predominantly in the UK, the USA and Australia. It was definitely a challenge filming this way. It was not the way I'd filmed before. I had actually rehearsed with actors for season 2 of Shakespeare Republic via Skype, but only a few. This time we were actually rehearsing with 23 different actors, myself being the 24th, across Zoom, across time zones, across the world. It was definitely challenging, but I actually found it strangely liberating, while at the same time quite limiting. It was limiting in the sense we didn't have a crew who could run in and fix a shot or fix lighting or whatever. The actors were having to do that for themselves. But it did mean that we got a chance to really get into the work and actually really delve deep into the text. And it also meant that we were quite flexible. If we suddenly came up with a different idea on how to do something, we could do it very quickly. It also pushed us to be inventive and creative, and I think that's often what limitations will do. So overall, it was a really life-affirming experience, I think, and definitely something that made me get a really true sense of how alike we are in our global community, working with actors in all these different countries who were going through their own different stages of lockdown, as we were doing in Melbourne, who were dealing with their own issues around their own anxieties around COVID. It gave me windows on the wider world that I actually think helped me definitely through this very difficult period in 2020. And I'm incredibly grateful to all the actors because all of them brought their A game. It was a massive learning curve. I wrote a huge technical Bible on how to actually set up cameras, how to set up tripods. If they didn't have a tripod, how to make a makeshift tripod, how to do lighting. I mean, they got a real crash course in filmmaking, but they all embraced it so beautifully. And I'm very, very grateful. I think they were extraordinary to work with, and we ended up deciding to go black and white because A, it made the colour grade much more uniform, but also it gave a true sense of a slice of history. And we are living through history, so that gave it a kind of archive feel, which we think really worked for the stories and for the series itself. So the series page for this new standalone season is actually attached to the official Shakespeare Republic Facebook page, which can be found at facebook.com/Shakespeare Republic. There's also a dedicated website, which is allthewebsastage.com, where all the episodes are embedded after they're released. And also we have all our information about the cast and crew involved. Ultimately, none of us on this series have ever been in the same room at the same time through the entire process. So it is a testament to what creatives can do. And I have to say thank goodness for the internet, because it wouldn't have been possible without that tool to make this series happen.